Hey, what up, everybody? All right, this is part 3 on my witchcraft series. I keep wanting to explain to everybody why I think this is so important. And I already understand that there's a big portion of my handful of subscribers who are going to reject this on impulse. That's part of the actual problem, and that's why witchcraft is dangerous, because people will become attached to the elements of witchcraft, which are control and rebellion. Now, once they say, say for example, you want to present this video to somebody who you thought that was caught up with witchcraft. In order for them to accept it, then they have to confess or indicate on some level that they're trying to control and that they're in some form of rebellion. Now, the truth is, most people just don't want to say that. They just don't want to. All right, so part 2. Anyway, in case you missed part 2. All right, but anyway, yeah, y'all you gotta remember that nobody wants to be embarrassed with this, and pride is one of the main features, one of the main obstacles of presenting a real solution to this problem, because this is a problem in the black community. It is deep-seated and rampant to the extent that it's built. So much of it it's also in the white community too. Don't let me misunderstand it, but proportion-wise, we are way above and beyond caught up in the concept of witchcraft. And if you want a bigger picture of it, throw in feminism, because that's what feminism is. So you want to put it in a political spotlight. There's witchcraft in feminism, in which most of our politicians know that their career is over the minute that they say that they're against feminism. So they can't say it. It destroys our population. It destroys how families interact with each other. It destroys and defies God's order. And that's why it is witchcraft. And the only reason we subscribe to it at all is because we do not believe the Bible. We haven't read it, and we have taken on we need the validation of people who do believe in witchcraft, which could be witches. Now, here's something everybody needs to understand about this. You don't have to call yourself a witch to practice witchcraft. You understand that? You don't have to call yourself a witch to practice witchcraft. Okay, you practice witchcraft the minute the woman decides that she's going to defy her husband, and in order to do what her girlfriends want. And you also encounter witchcraft the minute your job tells you that this woman can lift as much as you can, and you have to say yes. You have to kind of go along with it. Those are all forms of witchcraft. They call for you to confess to lies, which is that the woman is equally measurable to you in all aspects. Hey, I call this the 6 witches. So let me get to this, because you guys are gonna like this. All right, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already subscribed. Go ahead and subscribe and hit the notification button. Okay, 6 witches. This is a true story of my encounter with these witches. And I was attending another church in another part of Detroit. I won't even bother. I'm going to try to keep some of these people, but I may use some of their real names. Anyway, this is a church. I had a partner of ways with the church, and on my way out, I had, there were some people who really kind of wanted me to hang around, and they didn't think that the reason that I was leaving was a good one. So they really kind of tried to, show me some support and stay in touch with me, and most of you know that I'm a builder by trade. I'm really good with my hands. I'm a construction dude, and anyway, so a lot of them were really trying to give me business. Now, keep in mind, obviously, I don't know these people are witches, right? Okay. of the 6, one had a very sickly husband. Very sickly. This guy was had, like my family likes to say, one foot in the grave and one foot on a banana peel. And this guy's in his 50s, in his early 50s, if I'm not mistaken. And all these guys that died, these 6 witches, 3 of them were married. All 3 of those husbands died. One, who I would say is probably the youngest, her baby's father also died. And 2 of them, and the 2 of them that also had dead husbands, also had dead sons. Their only boys had died. One had a son who was very sickly and very feminine. Now, this isn't the one who's got the husband who's very sickly. He's not a feminine dude, but he's just very, very sick. You know, and we always kind of think about this guy who's dying. And only one of these men who died was in his 60s. And the 2 sons who died, they died in their 40s. So all these dead men around these women, all of these dead men, you know, babies, daddies, sons, husbands, brothers. One had a dead baby's daddy and a dead brother and a dead father. So you kind of get a picture of how this goes for men in this particular circle. Now, you can say that that's all coincidence. I'm telling you, you know, this is witchcraft at its finest. Also, 2 of them were sisters. 2 of the 6 witches were sisters. Okay, and one. Oh, and by the way, I never slept with any of them. There was one. I told you the youngest one was in her 40s, and I liked her, and I kind of talked to her for a minute, but we never kissed or never had any kind of relationship like that. But we were really kind of close, you know, on a personal level. We were close. In fact, I would say I was close to all of them. Literally, somebody that they would invite, if they had a party or an event at their house, I would get an invitation for sure to all 6 of these witches home. And all of them were friends except for one. One was outside of the clique, the crew, but the remaining 5 were all knew each other. They weren't all really, really close, but like I said, 2 of them were sisters, and one was the mother of another, and one was kind of a friend who was familiar with the entire circle, but she wasn't really there. Like, anyway, so here it goes, man. I'm kind of in the mix with these women. They're always giving me little construction projects. Actually, they kept my business going pretty good for a while there. You know, I can't even deny it. And in exchange for that, you know, I kind of hung out with them. You know, whenever they had an event, I would show up. You know, I would help them with stuff around the house and wouldn't charge them for it. You know, like I said, these are all women. They all live by themselves, except for the one who had the sickly husband. She didn't, but she lived with her man. And the other ones may have had some family. Some of them did, some of them did not. But in the end, what ended up happening was one of the witches pulled another. One of the black witches pulled another white witch into the circle, and me and the white witch got into a argument, which sent waves throughout the community. Anyway, somebody else tried to kind of speak up or take up for the white and the black witch, and I just wasn't having it. And the truth is, you know, I never really accepted the fact that, you know, I was really going to work for these these women for any long period of time. You know, it's hard to turn down money. It's true. You know, and some of you might find it even hard to believe that, you know, I love the Lord. Thank you, Jesus. I love the Lord. And I don't care about their money or anybody else who hates God. And this is one of the ways you could kind of tell in the beginning that they hated God, because out of the 6, 5 of them went to the same church. Or, sorry, 4 of them went to the same church, and 1 of them was a regular at another church. So out of 6 of them, you have 5 of them that were regular pillars of the church. I mean, active in their churches, figures in their churches. These women that I'm telling you about. Yes. So, when, like I said, at one point, one of the black ones had brought in a new white one who had just lost her husband. Good gosh, I probably could have made this the 7 witches. I forgot about that because, right, she just lost her husband, and now they were bringing her into the clique, and then me and her got into an argument about a construction job. You know, it wasn't about the quality or anything, but it was about, you know, she wanted me to talk to other people and get all these other people's opinions about stuff, and I just wasn't, you know, I'll deal with one person. We'll make decisions about what everything go. I'm not going to person A, B, and C trying to, you know, I'm just not doing that. So anyway, long and short, that began my relationship with all of them. And there were only 2 who actually said anything to me about it. But I was so strong in my response to them that the word got out, and none of them will talk to me anymore. You know, which is fine. You know, I haven't actually. There was only one of them that I actually even sent a message to since the argument. I sent the message to one of them, and she didn't respond. I figured, okay, she's on the same message the rest of them, and I haven't talked to them since, and it's been a good little while now. So anyway, I guess the moral to the story is, that thumbnail, that's one who I would call the leader. Okay, all right, we'll call her Cookie, you know, just for the for safekeeping. But if you saw the thumbnail at the beginning, there was a picture of one of the witches trying to put her thoughts into my head. This is how she took this picture, and she's got the braids hanging down in front of her head, and it's really kind of creepy. I know you guys see it, you're like, hell no. But I wanted you guys to see that, and I want you to hear that story and how I ended up getting away from these women. 3 of them owe me money. You know, and I'm not going to press them about it. I don't even care about it that much. I'm just glad that, because there was death waiting for me in that circle, that cycle. That's what was waiting for me in my relationship with those women. Every man in their circle, every man in their touch, every man in their reach was dead. And the one that was still alive was, you know, like I said, I had a foot in the grave and one on a banana peel. So I just thought I'd put y'all in on that little story there, man. You know, and that's not my only story. I got several of them, but you know, you don't know what's really going on sometime in the beginning, and you kind of walk into these situations, and you just kind of like, well, hey, hell no, what's going on over there? And you don't even recognize the pattern right away. You know, and in your prayers for discernment, you try to put two together, and you start saying, well, these women are all in the church. Why is it I start talking about God when I'm around them and they act like they're angry, you know? And I mean, I would be with one, you know, for this day, and one on a, you know, I'd be working, doing some work for the other one. I see one of them in church. And whenever I talk about God, you see this expression come over their face like they were angry, you know? And the one with the one in the thumbnail with the pictures of her forehead and the braids, yeah, me and her got in an argument one day. I was at her place, and it was just me and her, and she tried to tell me that women were equal to men in every respect. You know, I don't even know how the conversation got there, but that's what she was telling me. And I said, well, I haven't met a woman that could beat me arm wrestling. And I saw this angry face come over. Then I said, yeah, I haven't met one that could beat me playing chess either. And I could see she was getting mad. And then I said something else about, yeah, oh, and I said, I've never called one to fix anything in my house ever either. I've never called one to fix anything ever. Not my car, my house, nothing. You know, I've never called one to fix anything. So, she really actually got angry and, you know, to the point where she actually asked me to leave. This is what happens if you actually inject some truth and they actually see that they're not going to compel you to their spell. You're rejecting their spell. You're rejecting their indoctrination, and they just won't have it, you know. So when they realize you're strictly an alpha male, you're not going to be able to persuade you, they're going to be angry and tell you to leave, because that will still tell them that they're in control. True story. So let's try to think. Was it 2 or 3 of them that actually made me get out of the house because they were talking and they tried to say something and I challenged what they said and they got so angry, actually threw me out of their houses. So anyway, all right. Subscribe to the channel. Give me a thumbs up, a comment, say something, holler, and let me know what you think. Detroit, Chicago, most of Atlanta, Atlanta and the suburbs. Those are the 3 places off the top of my head that are rampant in witchcraft right now. Oh, and New Orleans. Yep, New Orleans for sure. All right. All right, thank you, everybody. Like I said, share the video. Get back at me. Part 4 coming up soon. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.